Good morning and welcome to Fat Cow Farm. Now, as most of you would have been aware, we were expecting some rain, and I was okay. Yeah, we're going to get some rain, but not so much the consistency, but the volume of water that came through over a very, very short period of time. It's almost like last year where we had those summer storms. So this was like the goodbye to spring, sort of see you later gift, so to speak. But in saying that, I've gone to set up the stock troughs for the other side here using our spring water collection, and it's blown out, absolutely blown out. So nature has taken back its little creek here, and all the rocks and everything else have all gone down this little culvert. So phase 2 needs to sort of start now, and over I don't know how long this has been in for, maybe a year, a little bit less. With everything that I've sort of learnt here at Fat Cow Farm, is there's always another alternative to do what you need to do. So what we're going to be looking at is using, let me start again. I had some issues with pumping water up the hill so I can then gravity feed down from our rainwater tank, or our collection harvest tank down here from the spring. And it was always playing on my mind anyway. I sort of went, right, this is how we're going to do it, and get everything ready to go. Now that this has happened with the blowout of everything that's going on here, what I'm going to do is put another collection further up, and then what I'll do is I'll end up then running a gravity feed back to this collection tank, and then gravity feed again. So I'm actually eliminating pumps, solar, all that sort of stuff. So I think that this is going to be a little bit more of a, what would we say, sort of user-friendly sort of scenario. And watch out, mate. And so really what we're going to be looking at now is that this is all going to have to be removed, all the plumbing. I still have a little bit of water going into the collection, and I'll show you what that is down there, but that's going to have to be emptied now, relocated. So I'm going to actually relocate this into the paddock, so it's a lot more serviceable. I was finding it a little bit difficult coming into the goat paddock here to constantly monitor it and everything else. So what we're going to be doing, like I said, is we're going to go further up, more towards the source of the spring or the seep water. And I've sort of been running around yesterday looking at levels and things like that, and I'll be able to put our spring water collection rainwater tank in the paddock, and then I can then gravity feed back down. So like, this was great, the way that everything sort of came together, but I think that once we get those heavy rains, we've got a lot of water coming down this creek, or this little seep here. You look at it now and it's nothing, but for what's happened here, it's full on. And I'll show you what's happened here. But mate, it just never ends, never ends. So I'm looking for a little bit more of a permanent solution. So I think what I'll end up doing is putting a concrete base down, building up a stone wall. I'll have the same sort of scenario here as where I've got my feed and I've got an overflow to come back into this outlet through here. But like I said, it'll be more manageable based out into the paddocks. All right, I'll get a few things sorted out. I'll show you what's happened here, and then we'll go down to the collection, and I'll have to dump that water, and because like I said, there's a little bit coming out, but I need to get that up and make a base for that. So there's a fair bit going on. I was ready for the stock troughs, and here we go. But I'm glad it happened. you know, I'm really glad this happened. You know, I was never really 100% convinced that this was really going to be the best way of doing it. And with all these soft loams and things, you know, what's happened is that there was too much water building up here, and a creek or a water stream has gone around the dam wall and blown everything out that way. So, but anyway, it's all good. All right, so I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you what's happened here, and we'll go down to the collection tank and go from there. So I'll see you soon. All right, so as you can see, we've still got our flow coming in, but if you remember, the rocks were basically as high as this lid here, and look what's happened. You know, it's all just blown out, and it's all blown out that way past the apron. So, and then as you look further down, you can see all the rocks. And it just keeps on going and going and going. And then you've got the collection rainwater tank down the end there. So, but anyway, it's yeah. But we'll use all the parts again. We won't use this drum. We'll use that for something else, I imagine. And but all the piping and fittings and everything else we'll reuse. And then I'll be able to make it an easier run. Like I said, we'll do it as gravity. So a lot less working parts. All right, so we'll go down to that rainwater tank there. We'll dump all the water and start getting that ready. All right, we'll see you soon. All right, so here we are. This guy's full, it's overflowing. But yeah, so we'll need to dump this water. So we'll just turn that on there. So we'll just send this water back into that natural water course that's sort of been established. So this won't take too long to empty. But mate, you know, it's like I said, I think this is a good thing, a really good thing, because you know the issues that I had was getting the water back up there, and if you remember, we're going through all those dramas with solar pumps and ram pumps and things like that. So eliminating a lot of that, and then just having it gravity fed back into the paddock, you know, that suits me. That's just going to be that constant water source, so that's good. And then we'll do a return. I'm thinking that what we'll do is do a return into an Aggie drain, and then that water can then just distribute once the tank's full back over the pastures. So we'll just see how that all pans out. All right, well, I'll go get a few other things sorted out. We'll get this drained. We'll have to do all the disconnection of the fittings and whatnot, and but we'll need to start the rock dam wall up the top there, so we might as well get that started and let that mortar start binding, and then we can come back here. And so this is going to take a few days to get sorted out, but it's all good fun here at Fat Cow Farm. All right, I'll catch you soon. All right, so here we are. So we're a fair way up this knoll now, and this is where that source from our old spring collection was being collected, was further down. So we've come right up, and it's funny, you know, like the volume hasn't changed, and I've just checked this, and this is just a 600 ml sort of cup. We get this squared away in 10 seconds, so that gives me, you know, just under 4 litres a minute. But I'm looking around, and there is truckloads of water running on both sides, coming down that way, coming down that way. So I'm thinking though that I might just let this be as it is and not divert any more back into it. I'm thinking that we'll try and keep the environment or the ecosystem pretty much the same as what it is, and then we'll just extract you know, these, you know, what, 3.5, well, 4, let's call it 4 litres, 4 litres every minute. You know, and it's pretty clear water, I must admit. It's you know, it just looks amazing, and it's it feels soft. And I'm thinking that just must be the minerals and stuff in there. Yeah, it tastes pretty fresh. But anyway, it's this is the sort of area that I want to capture and build up a little dam wall just here. Thanks, Mo. And then at least that way I can then gravity feed back to the paddocks. So I'll get a few things squared away. I have put down a little base here just so that, you know, I'm not working in a heap of mud, but it didn't work too well. It's just mud everywhere. So I'll start working on these this little dam wall sort of scenario. You know, like I said, in here what I'll do is I'll do an overflow, because I'm going to put a restrictor on this. So I'm going to put like a ball valve on the main feed, so that, you know, when the cows aren't on this side of the paddock, you know, we'll just let the overflow kick in, and then when the cows come into this paddock, or the paddock on this side of the property, then I can open that, and then we can constantly keep that rainwater storage tank full, and then that will then feed off onto the stock troughs. So, but you know, we can manage that with the ball valve, and so that I'm not completely removing this water source, you know, going back down into those little that natural water course down there. So it's just, I think that makes us a little bit more, we can manage the environment a little bit better for us. All right, but what I will do is get a few things squared away now. I've got to obviously go find some rocks, and luckily enough I've got a guy who has lots of rocks. They're the rocks that we've been storing from further up, so I'll go grab a bucket of those, bring them up through here, and start getting some mortar and bricks, or mortar and rocks, squared away. All right, I'll see you soon. All right, so here we are. I've got that concrete base in through here, and so at least now we've got a good base for those little rocks to sit on. Now I've done a couple of courses. I'm going to let that dry, and so at least that way we had to divert the water here, so it's sort of coming around now back this way. But you know, you forget how much fun it is working in the mud. Lots of fun. But anyway, look, we've got the delivery pipe in, and I've got a ball valve in there. So like I was saying before, I want to be able to regulate that. So if the cows aren't here, then at least that way this will then overflow naturally into this course, and then I can just come up here and flick that ball valve on and let that do its thing up into the storage tank, and then off to the stock troughs. So what we'll do, and you'll be able to see a little bit, I'm on my own today, so there we go. We have to go up. So what I'm going to be doing is actually running these rocks further up on both sides. So it's hard working backwards, so that I can capture that area there. That's where most of the water is sort of coming out. So that'll be good. And then, like, you know, with that flow test that we did, you know, at 4 litres a minute, mate, that's grouse. And that's going to be filling up into a 1,500 litre tank. And then there's, like, as the cows go to drink from the stock troughs, again, that'll be gravity fed with ball valves and floats. So, you know, there's no way that the cows are going to be running out of water. Now I'm just going to turn this camera around, and you'll be able to see, hopefully, yeah, there we go. That, oh, here we go. That area there is where I want to put the storage collection tank, and that's in the paddock behind me. So that's, like I said, I've done some levels on that, and so we'll be able to get that squared away. This is higher for the top of the rainwater tank. I think the rainwater tank was about 1,800. So I've just done it off my line of sight, and then made sure that when I had that 90mm PVC pipe there, that was purely my locator, and and it was above that. So fingers crossed that all works. But anyway, that's where we are at the moment. I've got to let this mortar dry now, and so I'll come back in a couple of days and do a couple more courses and start building that up. Yeah, but where that tractor is, you'll be able to see that's pretty much where we're going to be for that rainwater tank. All right, so all about having your spring blow up and making you sort of figure exactly, you know, there are better options. That was the first option, and now thinking about it, doing something a little bit more permanent out of stone and mortar, and gravity fed. So we're sort of eliminating pumps and solar and things like that. So I don't actually have to worry about the winter issues having no solar, and that makes me feel a lot better. But yeah, so this will obviously be part one, and we'll sort of as we develop and get everything squared away, we'll sort of keep you all informed about what's going on. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.